All right. Hey, book community, just giving you a little reading update of what's going on right now in my reading. So earlier in the year, I had made a goal of reading John Gwynne. I had never read anything by John Gwynne. So I was going to read The Faithful and the Fallen and then read the Bloodsworn Saga up into the release of The Fury of the Gods. Well, I did all of that. I read The Faithful and the Fallen, and in that I found a new favorite author, one of my favorite authors, because I love the way he tells stories. I love the way he writes just this atmospheric tale that you can really get involved in and immerse yourself in. I love the way he writes battle scenes. I love the way he weaves medieval style in a fantastical way. It's just a wonderful experience reading John Gwynne. I love The Faithful and the Fallen. And then I finished the second part of my goal, which was to read the Bloodsworn Saga up to the release of The Fury of the Gods. And I did that. And what the things that John Gwynne did great in The Faithful and the Fallen, he did even better in The Fury of the Gods. The Fury of the Gods, the Bloodsworn Saga is probably going to be one of my top trilogies, definitely of the year, maybe top of the year, and could possibly be favorite of all time. I loved this trilogy. But then I was also going to read Brandon Sanderson. I've read several Brandon Sanderson books and had almost given up on reading any more Brandon Sanderson books. I actually had DNF'd the Mistborn trilogy in the middle of book 2, which was The Well of Ascension. And so I had done that, and I was about to give up, and then people said, well, you have to read the Stormlight Archive. So I said, well, okay, here's what I'll do. I know that Wind and Truth is coming out in December, so I will read the Stormlight Archive, or at least I'll start the Stormlight Archive. And if I like it, I'll be ready for Wind and Truth when it comes out in December. Well, if you've kept up with some of my last videos, you know that I am enjoying it. I love what Brandon Sanderson is doing. I still have mixed feelings on some of the other books I read, but I feel like in this particular story of the Stormlight Archive, Brandon Sanderson is just doing outstanding work. But then I was reading the 4th book of the Stormlight Archive, Rhythm of War, and I put a post on Twitter, X, and I made a statement. I'm enjoying what I'm reading. I feel like I'm missing a lot by not having finished some other Sanderson books. That's all I said. Well, somebody got on there and basically spoiled the rest of Rhythm of War. I blocked out their comment after I read most of it, and just revealed so much that I didn't want to know yet, but also revealed some things that I should have known had I read the Mistborn trilogy. And so that made me stop and think. So I've been contemplating, well, what do I need to do? I already know some things that I had questions about that I was going to get to in Rhythm of War. Also, this particular thing that was spoiled from the Mistborn trilogy is something that I would have liked to have known and may have piqued my interest had I known this. So I have gone back. I've paused my reading of the Rhythm of War just for now. I've gone back and I'm continuing on The Well of Ascension. And here's the thing. The middle of this book, or not just the middle, a lot of this book is political intrigue. And I like political intrigue. That's not something that bores me, but it's so much political intrigue. And some of the things that really hooked me in the first book, as far as a lot of the Allomancy, I didn't feel like I was getting as much of it up to halfway through this book. Well, picking it back up, you're seeing a lot more of that, and it's good. And I'm enjoying it. Probably not as much as I was enjoying the Stormlight Archive, but still I'm enjoying it. And so I think I'm going to finish this and then read Hero of the Ages before I go back to Rhythm of War and then ultimately read Wind and Truth, which is going to put me back. And I won't be able to start reading it on release day like I had planned, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? I know there are some seasoned Cosmere veterans or fans out there that would say, oh, no, you need to read this book and this book and this book and this book first. I get that. I feel like I can wait on Era 2 of Mistborn till after I read. I know there are things that, I get it. I know there are things that are good to know. But as far as what I feel like I'm going to do, I feel like I'm going to finish this trilogy, go back to Rhythm of War. And maybe by that time I will have forgotten some of the stuff that I read on that post. No harshness to the person who said what they said. They didn't know how far. I didn't say how far I had gotten in that post. I don't think they did it intentionally, but in their excitement, they revealed more than I wanted to know. Anyway, so that's what's going on in my reading right now. I've got a couple other things that I'm reading here and there, but I think I'm about to really focus on some Cosmere through at least through the end of December. Probably continue on with some of his other books after that, mixed in with other things I want to read. That's kind of my plans moving forward. But sometimes I'm a mood reader and my mood might change. But this is what I feel like I'm going to do right now. So what are you doing? How has your experience gone in the Cosmere? Has someone ever spoiled a book for you and it made you change your TBR or change your next book or anything like that? Anyway, until next time, go read books.